5 years had gone by since Stella's husband passed away, yet she still missed him every single day. On their anniversary, her daughter returned from school with a smile on her face and a backpack full of cash. Stella's initial confusion swiftly turned to shock as her daughter exclaimed, "Daddy gave me this backpack." This must be a cruel joke, Stella thought, pushing her grief aside. She was resolute in her determination to uncover the truth behind who had given her daughter that backpack. "Honey, what do you mean?" she asked her daughter Nora. "Like I said, Dad gave me this backpack. He was waiting for me after school." Stella turned pale when she heard this. It was impossible. Her father was dead, which meant a stranger had been waiting for her daughter after school. She needed to call the police immediately. "Nora, you know it's impossible, right? Daddy's gone. It was probably just someone who looked like him," she tried to explain to her daughter, but she wouldn't listen. "Mom, no. I already said it was Dad. I know what I saw, but if you don't believe me, that's your problem," and she stormed into her room. Stella had no idea what to think. She looked at the backpack and still couldn't believe what had just happened. Of course, it couldn't be Edward who had given it to Nora. They had buried him years ago, but then who was it? And more importantly, why had this man given them the money? She had so many questions. She carefully grabbed the backpack and unzipped it, holding her breath as she looked inside. She had never seen so much cash before in her entire life, and it wasn't that she wasn't grateful for it. They were going through a tough time right now, and the money would really make life easier. And then she realized that this was a problem. Of course, she wanted to take this to the police. She was determined to find out who this strange man was and what had made him do this. But on the other hand, she didn't want to lose the money, and she was afraid that if she went to the police, they would take it from her. What would she do now? Mark called in a forensics expert to examine the money for evidence. The room buzzed with machines and police conversations. Using a special lamp, they checked for fingerprints on the banknotes. Stella watched anxiously, hoping for a lead to the mysterious man who approached Nora. Without a word, Mark slid a folder across the table. Stella opened it, revealing painful memories, photos of Edward, newspaper clippings, and official reports. Mark gently encouraged Stella to recall everything about her husband. She took a deep breath, tears welling up as she revisited the past. Mark mentioned sightings of a man resembling Edward in town. Stella was skeptical, but Mark explained that multiple testimonies supported the claims. Stella, torn between hope and skepticism, expressed her need to know the truth. Detective Mark saw Stella's determination and suggested returning to places where Edward was reportedly seen. They planned to investigate further, marking potential locations on a city map. Mark assured her they would find him if he was out there. In a busy cafe, Stella and Mark showed Edward's photo to the owner, who confirmed seeing him. Always appearing cautious, the owner shared Edward's peculiar habits, such as sitting facing the door and constantly checking his reflection in the mirror. Stella felt a knot in her stomach, recognizing these habits. Their search expanded to other local spots, and a tip led them to an apartment building. They discovered an apartment under a pseudonym containing signs of Edward's presence. The place seemed temporarily abandoned, but Edward's familiar scent lingered in a box Stella found. Photos taken discreetly revealed someone had been closely watching them. Stella sat on the sofa, emotions overwhelming her, sorrow, hope, fear, and love washing over her. Mark observed quietly, giving her space. The weight of it all, the mysterious backpack, the man resembling Edward, and the waking moments felt almost unbearable. The mere possibility of Edward being alive stirred both exhilaration and agony. The decision was clear. They would monitor the apartment, hoping to catch a glimpse of Edward or someone connected to him. Mark set up surveillance from a parked car, with Stella anxiously watching beside him, holding a thermos of coffee. As hours passed, the quiet street illuminated by street lamps added to their anticipation. Every passing car and pedestrian heightened their vigil, yet the apartment remained dark. In the quiet of the night, Stella opened up to Mark, sharing missed moments and unspoken feelings. Mark listened empathetically, understanding her pain and remorse. At the break of dawn, a figure approached the apartment, not Edward, but unfamiliar. He confidently unlocked the door. Stella and Mark exchanged glances, realizing the mystery was deepening. Mark confronted the man as he ran away, urging Stella to call for backup. Together, they chased him into an alley, handcuffing him, hoping for answers. They questioned him about Edward, but he remained silent. Stella appealed to his humanity, asking for information. The man, named John, began to crack under pressure. He revealed a thrilling tale of espionage, coded messages, and danger that Edward faced. John disclosed that Edward faked his death to protect himself and his family from corporate dangers. The backpack filled with cash was meant to help Stella and Nora disappear. A painful choice loomed: reunite with Edward or ensure Nora's safety by staying hidden. Stella told Nora, expecting fear, but Nora insisted they find Daddy, stirring Stella's determination. They decided to find Edward no matter the cost. John arranged a meeting with Edward at an old warehouse known only to a few. In their reunion, a rustling sound signaled danger. Company agents surrounded them, intent on silencing Edward and anyone aware of his secrets. Suddenly, police sirens and lights disrupted the scene. Mark had anticipated the danger, strategically placing a team to give the family a chance to fight back against the encroaching corporate agents. Flashing blue and red lights pierced the warehouse's darkness. Loudspeakers ordered the corporate agents to retreat as the police formed a protective barrier around Stella, Nora, Edward, and Mark. A standoff unfolded, negotiations failed, and a sudden clash erupted between the police and the agents. Chaos ensued, and amidst the shouts and tumult, Stella shielded Nora while Edward instinctively guarded them. The police prevailed, arresting the agents, but not without injuries and scars left in the aftermath. Unharmed physically, the family was deeply affected mentally. As the dust settled, tearful Edward recounted his journey, expressing guilt and longing for his family. He embraced them, seeking redemption and a fresh start. Edward's evidence exposed the company's dark secrets, leading to legal consequences for their actions. The family, recognizing the challenges ahead, embraced therapy and counseling to heal their wounds. They decided to leave the city, leaving painful memories behind, and started a new chapter, packing their belongings filled with memories outside their old home. They appreciated their togetherness, ready to face the future united in their car. They'd made promises to cherish every moment and build a brighter tomorrow. Driving away from the city, laughter filled the car, replacing scars with hope for the journey ahead. Detective Mark's farewell letter expressed heartfelt wishes, reminding them of his unwavering support. In a new city, they embraced hope and anticipation for a life free from fear and uncertainty. Stella expressed gratitude, highlighting the strength found in each other and the promise of making the most of their second chance at life.